Hi again, everybody. I am Terry Vanderbeck with Sanford Sports. Welcome back to the Sanford Pentagon. We've got a special guest with us today. Not that all of our guests aren't special, but we have an out-of-town guest today, so that's big. Out of state, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
All the things. Greg Stemen, you may recognize Greg from a lot of different things, but primarily right now from MidcoSN Sports where he does work on the college basketball games. But beyond that, you may not know. Greg is a Sanford colleague. He works in community relations up in the Fargo region.
Absolutely.
And prior to that, the thing that qualified him to do all this was he was a college basketball coach.
Yeah, I guess
That's a
I
lot.
was. I know it is. I always say I'm a less talented, less intelligent Forrest Gump. That's kind of my. I do a lot of things below average. So, but it's a really cool thing to be part of the Midco broadcast and then to be able to work for Sanford at the same time. It's a great marriage.
And I missed one. You're now. I don't know if I want to call you a politician, but you're in the North Dakota legislature, and that came about relatively recently. How has that been?
Educational.
I bet.
Interesting. Historic in some ways, but it's an amazing process. It's really an honor to be part of it. It's an honor to serve the citizens, the constituents of the district in which I do, and so it's really it's a humbling experience.
Yeah, is that something you aspired to do, or how did that sort of come about? Again, you've had in addition to coaching, you've been in finances, and again, you've been in healthcare and different things, but you know, seems like that was something that just sort of came up.
It did. The seat was vacated by the individual who won the state treasurer election. I didn't even realize I moved into his district when I moved to Fargo, and a few people shared some things, and I talked to some people, and they ended up picking me as the replacement. Yeah. And so I get a 2-year test run, so to speak, and then if I choose to run for re-election, and if I'm fortunate enough to become re-elected, then that's great.
Great. Well, I'm not going to pretend to know enough about the issues that you're voting on right now, Greg, so we'll gloss over that, but congratulations, and I hope it's a good experience.
Thanks.
Let's talk a little bit about the coaching. People may not, again, some people know, some don't. You were at Southwest Minnesota State right after one Tim Miles, who plenty of people are familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
What was that experience like? Coaching at a program that for a long time has been really good, but really had it rolling. You're coming up behind a super charismatic guy who's moving his way up the chain. What was that like?
Well, it was a learning experience. You know, we had some good talent returning, and so we had a couple of good years back to back. And I remember kind of thinking, well, you know, you'd watch the South Dakota States, the USDs, the Mankato's, the Augustanas, and say, boy, they do it this way, they do it this way. And sometimes I think I, tried to do it a little bit too much like some others. And we had a couple of down years. And in the Minnesota system, you can get offered 1 2-year contract in your career, which when you get offered a 2-year contract, it's basically, I'd really like to fire you, but instead I'm just going to give you a 2-year contract and let you hang yourself, And so I was able, I shouldn't say I just remember sitting with Brad Bigler, who's the current head coach, and then also Nate Kading was an assistant. And we just really said, hey, I'm only smart enough to do things a certain way. Let's get the right kind of guys. And we had to make some tough decisions, but then probably finish with maybe the 4 most enjoyable years of my coaching career. And we're able to have a couple of 20-win seasons, a regional championship. And then I had an opportunity to leave on my own terms once my little girl started school. I thought I better get my weekends back. So that was kind of that run. It was a great honor. It really neat to be a part of, and you still stay in touch with those guys that you were fortunate enough to coach. The only talent I ever had as a coach was to surround myself with people who were better and smarter than me, and that included fellow coaching staff members and players. And so
that's a great talent to have, though. So that parlayed, then, what a great opportunity to get to call games. Take us through that. What's sort of different? What do you see differently as somebody who's behind the camera, behind the microphone, that you maybe didn't see on the sidelines?
Great question. The officials are way better than when I was coaching. I've told them all that too. Because I joked, when I stood in front of that bench at Southwest, I never missed a call in 8 years from that one spot in front of the bench. I thought I had them all right. But in reality, it's a different perspective. When you don't have a vested interest. And I'm undefeated as a color analyst.
Excellent. So, congratulations.
Thank you. I leave happy every night. But I get paid to talk, and I have the best seat in the house. I have some of the greatest broadcast partners that tolerate me, that carry me. And it's just so enjoyable to be part of the Summit League, a high level of basketball, great coaches in this league. Still have a chance to do some Northern Sun games at times, so I'm able to maintain those connections. I think it allows me to feed my passion for the game and man, it's just taken a lot of stress off.
Yeah,
And I've been fortunate to build a lot of strong relationships with a number of great people through this process.
Yeah, I sense a lot of coaches that go into broadcasting get to kind of fall in love with the game again,
Yeah.
because the stuff that causes the stress is gone, and now you get to just dive in and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Let's talk last thing, community relations. So I think people hear that phrase, we use it within Sanford, we've called it different things over the years, but for people that don't know, in a nutshell, what does that mean? What do you and your colleagues, Joel Vettel and the folks down here like Jeff Filling or Brad Coleman or Stacey Reisman and others, what are you guys out in the world trying to do?
Well, we work with Jane Gust and what we have an opportunity.
South Dakota High School basketball.
I know.
Jane Gust,
I
by the
know.
way.
I
You
know.
go downstairs and visit her little shrine.
Where everybody would know her as Jane Even. Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Basketball immortality in
Yes.
this state. But I think it's a great opportunity because I work in the network, which is everything outside of the Fargo-Moorhead area. Wherever we have, Sanford has clinics or facilities or long-term care facilities, hospitals, whatever it may be. We want to establish those relationships, find out how we can make a positive impact with those communities, whether it's in the educational aspect, the health and wellness, or whether it's community enhancement. Those are things that as a nonprofit, Sanford is committed to do in the communities that we have relationships with. So it's great to be able to get to meet those people, find out what those needs are, and then say, is there a way we can partner with those communities to help those communities grow, to help the people of those communities benefit, and to help make our impact from Sanford Health standpoint as valuable as possible to those communities and the people that we have an opportunity to serve.
Yep, and certainly this complex here is an example
Yes.
of that. Although there's more to it than that, it's certainly
Yep.
we feel like benefits the community as well. Fantastic. Well, you can watch Greg again, Midco Sportsnet, both on linear TV and their app. He's active on Twitter. You can follow him there. And again, maybe he's going to be in the headlines because of his work on the North Dakota legislature. So, Greg, always great to have you. Thank you so much for explaining to the people what you do, and look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate all you do as well.